This is Ashley with WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most censored anime of all time.
What are you doing here? Cheer up, stuff.
They blew up the cargo robot!
I guess they're not going to tell us where the Dragon Balls are, Nappa.
This is totally embarrassing and degrading, but we need the money.
This is Misty.
For this list, we're looking at the series that had their original Japanese incarnations heavily altered upon worldwide release, mostly for the worse. Which series do you feel was hit with the censor brush the hardest? Let us know in the comments, and as always, you can catch me on Twitter at AshJBo, so head over there, give me a follow, and let me know which anime list you want to see next. Number 10, Tokyo Ghoul. Even without touching on some of the more moronic decisions made during this adaptation's subsequent sequels, there's still a major case of heavy censorship throughout the original. Given how this is widely known as a seinen that deals with cannibalism, murder, monsters, and psychological breakdowns, you'd think the anime would know who it was marketing this to. And yet, they still went ahead with trying to shield the eyes of viewers as Kaneki stabbed the hell out of Nishio. By inverting the colors to make everything look negative? The hell does that even work? Number 9, Terra Formars. Not one to go out of their way to watch giant humanoid cockroaches rip people's spines out, but if you're gonna crop the gore away, you at least have to be tactful about it. The sight of the literal Martian manhunters tearing apart humans proved to be so much that some broadcasters did their damnedest to hide it, by blacking out 3/4 of the whole screen. Seriously, there are times where it is impossible to see what is happening because of these outrageous MS Paint effects. Number 8, Naruto. Such a long-running shonen is bound to run into a few problems. It just so happens that in his early days, the Western release of the Ultimate Knucklehead took a fair amount of issues with his ninja exploits. Over in the UK, anything to do with cuts, weapons, and heavy blood was heavily edited, along with any shots of the characters smoking.
Watch The Legend of Naruto tomorrow at 8.
Germany, however, took things one step further by removing or changing the colour of the blood altogether, deleting any remnants of dead bodies, and best of all, removing Zabuza's sword from existence. What the hell? Number 7, Digimon franchise. Despite being aimed at kids, the West came down like a hammer on these digital monsters and showed no mercy with their corrections. Any cleavage on display? Blurred or disguised with additional layers.
Me too.
You helped me make amends with my brother, and I'm glad I could finally return the favor.
Mentions of alcohol or explicit signs of violence were uprooted and swapped for cringy alternatives, which explains why instead of a terrifying final boss in the form of a Pokémon, we were given this Joker.
Why do all of you get the pizza while I get the crust?
Oh, I can't take all these metaphors.
Boy, this guy really holds a grudge.
I will rule the world and plunge it into darkness.
It's plagued the franchise for years now, and while sometimes it's appropriate, most of the time it comes across as needless.
Prepare to get juiced!
Number 6, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. While it was lovingly re-released at a later date just as Miyazaki had intended, the first time this adaptation of Ghibli's fantastical flick was debuted in English, it was an absolute disaster. It was heavily edited and trimmed down to make it an adventure aimed at kids.
Warriors of the Wind, the most fantastic family adventure of their time and all time. Rated PG.
In doing so, those behind the scenes removed plenty of the environmental message, as well as changed the name to Warriors of the Wind. No wonder they sent a katana with a message that read, "No cuts for Princess Mononoke."
That's right, and whatever lucky man becomes my husband will see worse than that.
Number 5, Sailor Moon.
Hey, you two, what's going on? You have a minute?
there's something I'd like to ask you.
If you go through the many dubs this franchise received, especially in its inception, we're sure you can find plenty of examples of how the adaptations diluted the action, the death scenes, maybe even some of the lore. But you all know what the early Western releases are most infamous for, and that would be dubbing away the gay.
We're not at liberty to discuss that or our mission. Trust us, it's better this way.
See those two ladies lovingly embracing like two longtime life partners? Well, they're just cousins who happen to be really close. Get your mind out of the gutter, you naughty boys and girls. It truly is a time capsule that showed where priorities were back then.
Maybe we need to get some help. We can't give in yet. We've got to stay strong, Michelle.
Number 4, Dragon Ball Z. I mean, where do we start with this one? It may be one of the most beloved series out there, but that doesn't mean it didn't go through its own fair share of dubbing hell. Oh sorry, we meant HFIL.
Hey, dude, that's what you get for trying to steal King Yema's fruit.
Aside from the home for infinite losers, you've got the always popular Another Dimension, since we can't say the afterlife or even allude to it.
Look, I can see their parachutes. They're okay.
Plus, there's everything that happened with Blue Popo in the CW version. Bloody hell.
It is odd.
Number 3, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters. Oh, 4Kids Entertainment, your history of censorship isn't only a blight on the anime industry, but it's also a treasure trove of hilarity. Dark Magician Girl's cleavage, gone!
Yes, of course. They're the lights of the spirits within.
Anything remotely lined to death, gone. Replaced by such non-lethal delights as Dark Energy Discs and the Shadow Realm.
That's because the very surface on which we stand is a divider between our world and the dreaded Shadow Realm.
In time, we've grown to love these nonsensical additions, but in comparison to the original, it's a far cry from the kind of duels 90s kids should have been experiencing. Though we do love the finger guns.
Let's go, Kaiba.
On your feet.
Mr. Pegasus would like to have a few words with you.
I bet he would.
Number 2, Pokémon. To this day, Pokémon is still getting the stuffing censored out of them.
This is all a big mistake.
To the point where retro fans can say with credibility that back in their day, at least the crazy alterations were meme-worthy. You've got Brock and the mystery of the jelly-filled donuts.
These donuts are great. Jelly-filled are my favorite. Nothing beats a jelly-filled donut.
Entire episodes cut because of people showing too much skin. Shuriken replaced with suction cups.
Pikachu, use Iron Tail!
Overdrive power!
Even Jessie's wardrobe had to be altered when certain countries were offended by her midriff. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, One Piece. Well, thank goodness for the current dub, at least Funimation's turn in the saddle is nothing compared to the mountain of crap that 4Kids inflicted upon unsuspecting fans. Oh sure, the opening rap is unironically fire, but there were so many baffling choices made here.
Please, you think that a chef is afraid of a couple of flames?
No blood, Sanji's cigarettes replaced with a lollipop, rubber knives, and lest we forget about that pistol which was replaced with a crazy head-crushing contraption.
One more punch and say goodbye to your friend! I'll pummel his head flatter than the shape of the earth!
Mr. Helmeppo!
Can you imagine how bad things would get if they got up to the Amazon Lily arc?
How about a nice room in a dungeon?
But hey, let me know what you think is the most censored anime over on my Twitter at AshJBo. See you there.